Hey there YouTube, this is Cactus Naga wishing you a good morning. This is a video on fixing a washing machine. So the problem in this was that this agitator wasn't spinning. You can actually hear the motor running, the motor under the machine is running, but it's not turning the agitator. There could be several reasons for that. One of them, the start capacitor on the motor is burnt out and probably needs to be replaced. Or there could be mechanical reasons, the motor is jammed or something like that, which we will take a look at. There are a couple of screws. One is here and the other here, which when you remove it, the top section of this will lean back. So here is the head that has been tilted back. There are a couple of clamps. Here's one and here's the other one that will have to be removed. To do that, I think it's a fairly simple task. Go in there and pop it off, and there it comes. Here's one, and do the same on this side. There it comes. We will undo the electrical harness, and there it comes. And in this condition, this entire assembly should slide off. This is what it looks like with the housing removed. I've tilted it on its side, on its back actually, just so that it's easier to work. Here is the motor, and this is the pump. That over there is the capacitor, and these capacitors can hold quite a bit of a charge and can give you a pretty nasty zap if you don't discharge it. So you have to be careful with that. I have disconnected the electrical supply, and the first thing I'm going to be looking at is removing the pump, the drain pump. It's driven by the same motor, and because the motor ain't turning, it's possible that there's something in the pump that's jamming things up. So I'm going to remove the pump, and that can be done by prying off these latches here and disconnecting these two hoses, and this should slide out quite easily. One thing to note is when you do disconnect the hoses, there's going to be possibly some water spillage, so just be aware of that. So as it turns out, it wasn't all that easy to get the water pump off, so I'm going to deal with that separately. So I removed the entire motor and the pump assembly. To do that, you disconnect the harness, and there are a couple of clamps that are holding it on the top as well as on the bottom. Remove the screws and remove the clamps, and this thing just comes off. I've discharged the capacitor by using a light bulb to short out across the terminal. You certainly don't want to short out using a screwdriver or anything like that. Sometimes it can hold enough charge to make a very mean spark, so you don't want that. Safest way will be to use a light bulb to discharge it. I'm going to be testing this capacitor, and we'll look at how we do that now. So here's a quick and easy way to test and see whether the capacitor is working. You're going to need an ohm meter. There it is. It's charging up, and eventually it'll show I or infinity. And then what should happen is when you reverse these two, it should again charge up and then show an infinity again. So this shows that the capacitor itself is good, so I'm not going to worry about that anymore, and we'll be looking towards a mechanical reason why the pump, the motor doesn't turn. So I did some additional research online, and as it turns out, these kind of capacitors, even though they may still show that they are charging, etc., they may still not be up to snuff in terms of its capacitance value. This is supposedly rated to be approximately 200 microfarad. Things can change on this, and as they go older, they may decay, and it may just not have enough oomph to turn the motor anymore. So we will be needing to test the capacitance. I don't have a meter to do that, but there are appliance parts stores that will do that for you for free. I know for sure Norton's does that, but I also know somebody who has an LCR meter, and I'm going to go visit him now. So I'm here with Martin Modesto, and at his lab with his fancy LCR meter. It's a very high-end LCR meter, and it costs $300. We don't really need that for our application, but he's got one, so we're going to use it. And here's Martin, who's going to show us how he's going to test this capacitor.
Let's turn it on. Oh, there it is. I think it's by default it's just read capacitors. So first of all, we want to make sure this has no charge in it. So 120 volts charge here. Make sure that it's not charged at all. So now it's probe doesn't show any polarity. It's an AC capacitor, so it should work. So we're reading about 161 micro. So this is rated to 189 to 227.
Yeah, so it looks like it's a little low, huh?
Yeah, so
And
it's close.
It's close enough, but maybe just not enough to turn the motor. So I guess we'll just replace it and see how it goes. Thanks a lot, Martin.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the capacitor checked out sort of okay, I did go ahead and get a new one and installed it, and there was no change. So while I was doing that, I was trying to troubleshoot what was going on, and as it turns out, there is a centrifugal switch. It's inside there somewhere, and as the spindle turns, there's going to be a switch that opens out and engages and disengages the starting winding. So it seems that something was not quite right with that, and after I tweaked with that and I opened and closed the centrifugal switch, the motor seems to be now running pretty good. I just tested it out, and all is well. So I will be reinstalling, and that will try out the operation of the washer after that. While I was cleaning up and putting things back together again, I did notice that the coupling between the motor and the transmission is a little worn out, as you can see. But I'll just use it again. It will need to be replaced shortly, which I will do separately. This happens to be one of the most common causes of why a washing machine will not agitate or will not spin. When this breaks, or when this completely breaks through, the motor will turn, but it will not spin the tub. So I've reassembled the motor, and I'm ready to give it a trial. I have bypassed the cover switch by just using a piece of metal, and I will now switch it on. Moment of truth. Let's see whether it works. Here we go. There we go. So it's working now. for watching.